Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at some 3D prints that I have done, that I've been spending a bunch of hours slicing and printing and trying to clean, though the figures will need a lot more cleaning. I do apologize. You'll probably see on the close-ups and the pictures a few bits of supports and some other bits and pieces that I haven't cleaned properly yet. So I have a bunch of miniatures from Bestiarum. Yes, I am a patron and I do have their July 2022 patron release, which will be for general release in August 2022, which is the, and again, forgive my pronunciation, the Gorroth. Gorroth. You got to do the first part right. Gorroth. Essentially, this is a release which is very much focused on fantasy horror, in particular Lovecraft and the Innsmouth, the sea town corrupted by Dagon kind of theme. So you'll see that a lot of these, well, all of these figures have that inspiration from Lovecraft's Innsmouth and Dagon mythos. And the set is absolutely superb, except for one of the figures, or one of the figure types. I'm not the biggest fan of the, what's it called? The Stranglers. I did print one out, but I'm not the biggest fan of the design of that. But the rest, oh, I love them. I love them. What I've actually done is I've actually printed out enough figures for a one-page rules army for Age of Fantasy Skirmish. I'll also include my thoughts on the one-page rules army list for this Gorroth range by Bestiarum. And spoiler alert, I'm basing it on the Deep Sea Elves army list. Right, let us get on to the miniatures. Now, I use a halot or Halo 1 by Creality. I'm using a, what is it? It is a grey creality resin. I think it's just a standard one you can buy. I don't think it's anything special. One of the miniatures I did decide to scale down a bit because I thought it looked better, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's have a look at the miniatures. Now, first up, this is really the miniature, the first miniature that I saw that grabbed my attention when they announced the Patreon set for this month. This is an Abyssal pasta. And it is gruesomely, gribbly lovely. Okay. Hunchback, hooded like a cultist. He's got a staff with a bell and some kind of octopus or squid coming out the top. He has tentacles coming from the underside of his robes. Now, when I printed this miniature, let's see if I can just get away without my hand there. Come on, you were doing it just now. You were focusing just now. You git. Come on. Yeah, when I was printing this out, and again when I was sort of cleaning the supports off before I put it into the wash, I did actually put my finger on this part here and actually broke the bell off of the hook. So I did some resin. They call it resin welding, where you basically apply some resin to the join and then use UV light to solidify. I also did the same thing. I don't know whether you can see on the base. Why is this not focusing? You can see on the base there's a little bit of shininess. Again, because what I did, instead of using super glue, my super glue tends to kind of go bad after one use. The nozzle gunks up and everything just goes really bad and I can't use it after one time. So I decided to try the resin welding to actually fix these guys to the bases, since the bases are also resin. And it works wonderfully. The trouble is you've got to be very careful in terms of how much resin you use. Otherwise it can really blotch. I mean, as you can see maybe on the hook and the bell here, if you use too much of the resin, it kind of obliterates the detail. And on the base as well, you don't want to use too much. Again, there's a couple of places I think where the base detail has been kind of covered by the resin that I'm using to weld to it. But it's a wonderful figure. I really, really like this figure. It looks awesome. And this is the one that really got my eye first when Bestiarum released the pictures for this month's patron releases. But like I say, in August, at the time of recording, next month, this will be released for general purpose. And I highly, highly recommend that you take a look at these because they really are nice. If you have role-playing games in Call of Cthulhu or Trail of Cthulhu or any of those kind of Lovecraftian games, if you have some kind of army, or like me, you want to do a small skirmish army, these figures would be absolutely amazing. And like I say, I decided to kind of design mine following the one-page rules Age of Fantasy skirmish, using the Deep Sea Elves list. So in that list, this would probably be a Spirit Caster, maybe, a Spirit Render, a Spirit Ledger, or a Spirit Scryer. Basically one of the mages I would use this for. It just looks lovely. I love the hunchback and the tentacles. Now, of course, as you can see, I haven't painted it yet. I have some rather urgent painting jobs going on at the moment, so these guys are in the queue. But once they are done, I will actually be. I'll probably do another video on the final figure once they're all painted up. So this is the Abyssal Pasta. I think it's one of 4. I'll put a quick picture here because there are 4 different designs, so you can see not just this one, but the other 3. Come on, focus! Don't focus on the boxes. Focus on the figure. There are actually 4 different designs. So I think this is number 2. But yeah, very, very nice. Okay, up next, we have one of the larger figures. But I decided to scale this one down by 75%. Or sorry, I scaled it to 75%. So it went down by 25%. And this is the Abyssal High Priest. And like I mentioned just now, I scaled this guy down because, in one, having the face about the same size as the other humanoid figures kind of makes more sense. Plus, when you don't scale it down, this thing's bloody huge. And I was planning to use this as like a mage or some kind of wizard in the army. I was thinking maybe the Octopus Wizard or maybe the Deep Sea King on the list. And I think if you printed it at 100%, I think it would actually be too big for that use. If you have, what's that fear? Is it trachyophobia, where you're afraid of all the holes and whatever? This is gonna set you off. So a little bit of a warning. Don't look if you have that. Is it called trachyophobia? Where you have a fear of like surfaces with all the different holes on it. Some people have a fear of that. Yeah, this figure's going to set you off. Don't don't print this figure. But I love the beard of tentacles. I love the cape. It's got a nice long cape at the back with some kind of carapace. Carapace. It's got his staff. Got loads of little stubby legs underneath. It is hollow, so you can save a little bit of resin that way. But like I say, I scaled this to 75%. Now, he does come with a separate hand, which is holding another staff with some kind of, algae creature, like organ thing, urchin maybe, on the top of the staff. So this will attach to the figure here to be like that. Now again, I haven't based this guy yet because I'm thinking that I might want to paint him first before I fix him to the base. This is the base that comes with him that you can print out. Again, scaled down to 75%. Now I'm having a little bit of a problem with this. I have to do a little bit of modification to this because when you put this on the base where it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go about there, like that. You see, at the moment I've got some clearance between the parts, and the reason for that is at the back, this little part here is kind of interfering, and I'm thinking that maybe this is supposed to fit under the hook, but I need to file that down so I can actually fit it under the hook and place it properly, because at the moment it's not sitting flat. That's where it's supposed to go, but it's not sitting flat. There's too much clearance. But like I say, I'm also thinking maybe that I will paint this first before I actually fit it to the base. I mean, in terms of the base, I'm also going to be putting something underneath. I'm thinking maybe like a wooden base I'll put underneath, because I'm not sure whether the resin is going to cause a problem with sticking. I have a glass cabinet where I display these, and I'm not sure whether the resin in the heat that we have here. I'm in a tropical country, so I'm not sure whether this is going to get sticky and stick to the glass surface. So what I do is, like I did with the Abyssal pasta, I actually put a wooden base underneath the resin base. I mean, I could use plastic. I've got wood of certain sizes. I've got plastic and other sizes, or maybe just a piece of card. Because I'm just a little bit worried whether the resin will actually get sticky and then cause a problem on the cabinet glass, the surface that I'm going to put these on. But yeah, this is again another really nice figure. But if you have that fear of holes, you ain't going to like this figure. But like I say, if you print it 100%, it will be bigger than this. It'll be a lot bigger than this. But I decided to go for a more realistic size when compared with more human-sized figures. But yeah, I love it. Either way, I love it. So on the base there, and then here's the staff. Nice and gribbly. Nice and gribbly. So this is the Abyssal High Priest, which will probably be my Octopus Wizard or Deep Sea King. Right, what's next? Okay, next we have what I think is, and again, this is just my personal opinion, my personal preference. I think this is probably the weakest design in the set. Again, some people may like it, but it's not really for me. This is the Shambler. It's a mutated human. It's kind of ogre size. I mean, compared to the pasta, it's it's bigger than the pasta. Again, come on, focus, you get. It doesn't want to focus, does it? Come on, you bastard, focus. Oh, I'll have to figure out how to focus this bloody thing at some point. But yeah, it's a lot bigger than the pasta, and the pasta this is on a 32mm base. So the Shambler, I suppose, could work as some kind of ogre-ish creature, some sort of ogre-level creature. I'm thinking in terms of one-page rules, the Deep Sea Elves, this could maybe be a guard champion, but again, he's a bit big for that. I might have to scale it down a bit if I want to use it as a guard champion. But you know, the detail. I mean, if you like the kind of design, again, you're going to love this. The detail is amazing. This one is armed with an anchor. Again, I think for this one, I think there are 3 designs. I think there's 3 designs of this. I could be wrong. I'll put another picture up here to show you all the different designs for the Shamblers. But this is the one that I chose to print. And like I say, I'm happy with the print. I'm happy with how it turned out. It's just that the design is kind of not really my thing. But like I say, I'm not. And again, you can see where I've still got cleaning up to do where the supports. I tend to put a lot more supports than I should now, just sort of prevent problems like falling off the supports or not printing properly. In my previous video, you'll remember I had that. I think it was the Ancient Verdant or the Verdant Ancient where the horn didn't print properly. I tend to put a lot more supports on my figures. I normally take the pre-supported files and then just add more supports. But yeah, it does require a lot more cleaning afterwards. I take off all the supports and do as much cleaning as I can before I wash them and before I cure them. But again, as you can see, there's still a lot more to do because you've got to be real careful you don't break anything off. I think maybe I broke something off here. I think I broke something off there, but it's resin, it happens. But yeah, in terms of what it is, it's done really well. But it's not really for me. Did I break off the tip? I don't think no, there's the tip there. Come on, focus. There you go. Really nice. So this is the Shambler, and again, it comes with a base. This is the base. It is I think this is a 50mm base. Let me check. Yeah, it's on a 50mm base. And again, it has a little bit of design to it. A little bit of sponges and coral. A little bit of some kind of shellfish thing going on there. Planks and ropes and hooks. Very, very nice. Now, another thing. These Shamblers also come with something to attach at the back. We have this little hook here. Now, it may look out of place a little bit. Well, yeah, because this attaches to it. It comes with a basket full of human sort of victims and pieces. And you see it's got a hook. This actually just hooks in there. So the Shambler actually comes with a little backpack, a back basket, yeah, to put all his victims inside. Now, I actually love the way they've done this because in terms of storage, if you want to carry it to a game, if you want to take it to a friend's house or bring it to the shop for a game, you don't have to worry about transporting this sort of large, ungainly sort of shaped thing. You can just unhook it and store them separately. So this is the Shambler. Again, in one-page rules, I'm thinking maybe a guard champion, maybe something else, but I'm probably not going to be using it. Like I say, I'm not the biggest fan of the design. What's next? Okay, next we have the Gorroth Warriors. Now, the Gorroth Warriors, there are 5 different designs, and these are the Octopus creatures. I won't focus. So these are like a bit like mind flayers in D&D, the old mind flayers. But they're octopus-headed humanoids. They've got tentacles everywhere. Tentacles coming out of the mouth. They're real gribbly and lovely, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, I have printed 3 of these, and again, they come with, like I say, special, their own individual bases. Come on, focus. Doesn't want to focus. I'll need more hands. So yeah, this is one. Again, I haven't finished cleaning them or fixing them to the bases yet. I just wanted to show you guys what I've been doing. So that's one with his little base. Now, with these guys, you've got to be careful because there are two of the designs where they come with their own bases. They're very specific in terms of the bases that they have. So this is another design. Again, you have that octopus head. Sorry if this isn't in too much focus, guys. I'm trying to focus it as well as I can. It's just that the camera's not helping me. Okay, so yeah. So this is another design, another sort of octopus warrior with some bloody big tentacles, this guy. And yeah, really, really nice design. Now, again, like I say, there are 2 designs that come with their own base. So this is the base for this guy. I think this is how he goes. Yeah, so it's like a base with a big rock on it. So you've got to make sure when you do this particular figure that you print out the right base. I think it's supposed to be like that. I think that's better. I think that's better. So this is a much a much better positioning on the base. So yeah, there are two of the designs of the Ungoroth warriors that come with their own bases, and this is one of them. Again, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's a sweet, sweet design. Really, really nice. In Age of Fantasy for the Deep Sea Elves, I would use this as an Octopus warrior, obviously. Octopus warrior, or in Age of Fantasy normal, it would be the Octopus troop. So that's that one, and I have a third. I printed out 3 of the 5. I didn't print out all 5. Again, this one comes with a special base, so be careful. And this is the design. I've got to be careful not to break these. These are very delicate. I hope I don't break them when I paint them. Again, this is a nice, really nice design. Spiky one, this one. This guy is all spiky. Really nice. And again, he has a special base. I've got to figure out how does he go on the base? I'm thinking it's something. I don't want to break it. I don't want to break the bloody thing. I think it's something like, I don't know. I think it's like something like this. I'll figure it out when I come to assemble it. But oh, there you go. I did it. So yeah, as you can see here, he comes with his own special base. That's how you... It's kind of hit and miss. You wiggle it around until you find the right placing for it. But again, it looks awesome. Really dynamic, really detailed. Really, really nice. So yeah, I printed out 3 of these for use as Octopus warriors in Age of Fantasy. Oh, come on. Come off. You went on just now. Come off. All right, I'll leave you on there. Oh no, there you go. He's off. So yeah, I printed off 3 of these guys. If I need to make the army bigger, or if I find that they are very useful troops, I'll print off the other 2, so I'll have 5. But at the moment, I've only got 3. All right, next up. Next up, we have... Let's go for some of the basic troops, the basic guys, shall we? Let's take a look at the Fisher folk. Now, the Fisher folk are probably the most basic in terms of troop types or troop choices. These will be your sort of cannon fodder, kind of, sort of just basic cheap troops. And these are like the basic humans that are just starting on their transformation to the ways of Dagon. Yeah. And again, if you've watched the movie, I think there's a movie called Dagon. Again, it's very, very reminiscent of the creatures in the movie. I think it's called Dagon. I'll have to double check. I'll put a note up to confirm. Why isn't this focus on the figure? Come on, focus on the figure. Again, you'll notice that I haven't based these yet because, again, I've still got more cleaning to do on these. So there are 5 different designs for the Fisher folk. This. I printed all 5 because I'm going to need a lot of these guys. Come on, focus, you get. I've got to work out how to do this properly. Okay, there you go. So yeah, again, you can see there's a lot of cleaning up I need to do on this. I've been adding a lot more supports than I should really, because I just don't want the failures. I'd rather have more cleaning than failures, to be honest. That's the second one. Here's number 3. It seems to be focusing more on my hand than the figure. So this is number 3. Again, you'll see they've all got that telltale sort of hunchback where maybe their fins are growing. Nope, doesn't want to focus, does he? That's number 3. Number 4 is my favourite, this one. I like this one the most. Come on, focus. He's got like a mask under his hat. He has like he's getting the hunchback. He's got a knife with entrails on it. Really, really nice design. Again, I love it. This would be really good in some kind of Halloween scenario as well. And then the last one is this one. This guy has a fishing net. Come on, focus. Fishing net with some kind of victim inside. He's got his little fisherman's cap on. Love it, love it, love it. But yeah, these are the basic troops. I printed out all 5. I don't know whether I need to print more. I think if I go up to Age of Fantasy, the basic or the sort of main game, I may need to have at least 5 more of these guys. But here's the thing. As well as the fisher folk, which you can see here. And again, there's 5 of these. As well as the fisher folk, you also have stranglers, which I was also thinking maybe they could also be the basic sort of troop types. I think in Deep Sea Elves, these are Sea Guard. They're called Sea Guard or Sea Reavers. So for the Stranglers, these you can kind of think of these as the fisher folk who have taken one more step on the evolution towards full fishiness. So these have got, they're starting to get the whole octopus, tentacle, fishy. Yeah, so they're like the next step of mutation. Again, I love the designs. They're really gribbly. They're really Lovecraftian, and Dagon. Oh, such nice. I mean, you can tell from my channel name that I do have a love of Lovecraft. So yeah, these are Stranglers, and like I say, I probably use these with the fisher folk to be the basic troops, maybe the Sea Guard. Now, for the Stranglers, there are only 4 different designs that you can print. This is another one. I mean, look at the state of his left arm. Jesus, look at that. Look at the tentacles on that bugger. So yeah, for the Stranglers, there are only 4 designs in the set. The fisher folk have 5. The Stranglers only have 4. There's another one. I like the pose of this one. He's got his tentacles reaching out to grab you. Or is it a she? I can't tell. But I'm going to have a lot of fun painting these. I think I might go speed paint on these guys. I think the purple will work quite nice. With a lot of highlighting, of course, but yeah. So that's 3. And then the last design is maybe the more sort of basic. Look at that beard. I don't know if that's a beard or like a fin. It looks like a fish's fin, doesn't it? But yeah, this is like the more sort of basic, sort of compact design. It doesn't have limbs sticking out everywhere. But he's got his tentacles and everything. Now, for this one, I did actually print 2. Again, in case I need 5 or in case I need like 10 Sea Guard. Come on, focus, you git. Oh, he doesn't want to focus, does he? Focus, come on. I hate autofocus. I'm going to have to fix it. But yeah, I printed 2 of these guys. So I got 5 Stranglers and I got 5 fisher folk. So if I need a unit of like 10 Sea Guard, I can just... Sorry, my arms are in the way. I can just basically just combine the Stranglers and the fisher folk into one unit of 10 if I need 10 in my one-page rules army. But yeah, Stranglers and fisher folk. 5 designs, 4 designs. Again, these guys come with bases that you can print as well. Now, I think the Stranglers and the fisher folk, they all come with this design. So, I mean, what I did, as well as this sort of design, this base that they've provided for the fisher folk and for the Stranglers, I actually also printed out a bunch of more basic bases. I think these are from the Cultists in the Tormented Souls set. Because I like the base, but I don't want all 10 of these guys to have exactly the same base. So I printed out, I think, 5 of these and 5 of these. Right, let me just put these guys back. All right, what is next? Let's look at the big boy. There is a miniature in the set called the Gorroth. I don't know if I've been saying that right. The Gorroth Giant. Now, the Gorroth Giant is about 4 inches high. He's a pretty big boy, but he's not huge like some of the other figures that you can get from Bestiarum. This is the Gorroth Giant. Look at those legs. They're like model's legs. Well, some kind of mutant putrid model's legs. Look at the long legs on this bugger. And he's got tentacles growing out of his area. Now, this model comes as 2 pieces. You have the basic body here with loads of tentacles. He's got some kind of Rastafarian tentacle thing going on. He's got eyes everywhere on his head. Again, focus, please, you bastard. Come on. Tentacles coming out the mouth. He's got chains. He's got hooks. He's got anchors. Really, 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 really nice and gribbly. And, okay, he has 2 attachment points here for his arms and weapon. Or his weapon arms, anyway. And this is the weapon. A bloody great bell. So this will attach... Just give me 1 second. Let me rearrange my fingers. This will attach under here like that. Like that. On these... Get in there, you little git. Sort of about like there. Okay. And this is what he looks like. He's bloody massive. Look at that. And the bells are freaking... Okay. I did a lot of supports on the bell because I really didn't want this to fail. So I got a lot of filing and sort of using an emery cloth, a piece of sandpaper. I've got to clean up this bell really badly. But yeah, you can see... It's lovely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. Oh, don't break the bloody thing. This is a big chunk of resin. But yeah, this is what he basically looks like. Now, in terms of scale, again, he's about 4 inches high across. He's about 4 inches across as well. So he's gonna take up a chunk of space. I had to print on 2 build plates. Basically, I couldn't put both of these on my build plate together. So now I have a question on this because not a question. I've got a decision to make. It comes with a base, a unique base. I think it's 90 mil. I can't remember if it's 90 mil or 100 mil, but it comes on a special base. I wasn't planning to do it because the base is absolutely freaking huge. It's going to use up so much resin. It's going to take. I think I sliced it, and it's going to take like a 12-hour print just for the base. So I was thinking, I've got some pretty big bases. I can just do that and sort of, put some texture and bits and pieces on the base myself. The problem is the git's not flat. The feet are at different heights. The tentacles are at different heights. It's positioned for the special base in terms of the different sort of fixing positions. So I don't know whether I can actually... Well, I mean, I could do the custom base with different elevations and different heights to sort of pin him and fix him, but I don't know whether it's worth the bother or whether I should just print out the special base itself. But yeah, this thing is big. This thing is big. Let's have a look. Abyssal pasta. Scale comparison. Yeah, that's the size difference. With one of the humans, let's take one of the Stranglers. Yeah, that's the size difference. Let's move it over to the centre. I don't know why I'm going over here. But that's the size difference compared to a normal sort of 28 mil figure. He's lovely. He's lovely and jubbly. He's lovely. I like the giant. I really do. Now, in one-page rules, I don't think I can use this guy in the skirmish game. In the standard Age of Fantasy one-page rules, I would probably use this guy as a giant kraken, maybe. But in the skirmish game, the kraken is not on the army list, so this guy may just be reserved for the larger games. But I had to build him. I had to make him. He's just so nice. The little tentacles. So this is the giant. This is the Gorroth giant. Really, really nice. But it's a big chunk of resin. Well, again, Bestiarum do some absolutely huge figures. This is not Normally in their sort of Patreon sets and whatever, there's normally one huge figure. Yeah, this is smaller than all of those, but it's still a pretty big chunk of resin. I love it. I love it. Right, what's next? We have, I think there's one more type of figure left to look at, and that is the trawlers. Now, the trawlers come on a 60mm base, and I've printed 2 of them. So each trawler seems to come with a different base. So these are 60mm bases. So I've printed 2 of those off ready. But these are actually bases 2 and 3 because the first base fell off the supports and got melted. So the first base that I made for the trawlers was a failure. So this is second and third attempts. But they're good now. Again, I tend to use a lot of support, so I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. But again, I'm going to be using either a plastic or a wooden base underneath this anyway. So you ain't gonna see all this. It's going to be covered up by the base underneath. So these are the bases for the trawlers. Now I printed off 2 of the trawlers. There are 3 designs you can choose from, and I printed off 2 of them. And again, I love these. I think these are amazing designs. I love these. You got the whole cultist. Come on, focus, you gits. Why are you not focusing all of a sudden? Oh, there you go. These are like, I don't know, they look like hooded mind flayer ogres. Oh, stop messing me about and focus, will you? Come on. There you go. All right, let me try something. Hang on a sec. Let me try something. Let's try that. Right, let's see if this works. So, let's have a closer look at these because they look like cultist mind flayer ogres. Cultists because they look like they've got hoods on, some kind of like superhero or cultist hoods. They've got the mind flayer tentacles going on. They've got tentacles coming out of their backs. They've got tentacles coming out of everywhere. Oh, they're really, really nice figures. However, I don't know whether you've noticed that there is a problem here. There's a little bit of a problem here if you see. Yeah. With the trawlers, I had printing error. And it happened in the same layer point and in terms of the layer number and the same place for both of them. Even though they were done on different plates at different times, I did these like a week apart. But look what bloody happened to the buggers. And again, like I say, it happened at roughly the same point both times on this kind of, let's move it back. It sort of happened on this sort of layer here, this plane here, because these were printed at an angle. And it happened on both of them at this kind of layer here. Yeah, for both. Now that can't be a coincidence. That can't be a coincidence. If you look, with what they got tentacles coming out their butt, literally out their butthole. They got tentacles coming out. That can't be nice. But it's the same thing. It looks like the same failure, the same kind of error has happened to both of them. It looks like maybe the skirt, because at the front they have like a loincloth, and at the back they're supposed to have like a skirt coming down. It looks like the skirt has failed and has basically meshed into this surface here. That's what I'm thinking. But again, I added more supports to these guys. I took the pre-supported, I added more supports, and yet this happened. And it only happened on the trawlers. Every other figure, I had no problems. Even the giant, I had no problems. It was just on the trawlers. And it happened on both of them exactly the same time. I did these like a week apart. It's annoying. So, what I'm going to have to do, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this Gribbly first. I love it. Look at him. He's got some kind of like carapace armor going on and chains going on. Oh, I love it. But again, let's take a look at the problem. So I'm going to have to fill these gaps in sort of the groin, top of the leg area. You see there's that bloody great gap there and big gap there. There's a gap in here. I'm going to have to fill them with brown stuff or green stuff. And I think I'm going to have to somehow sculpt some kind of skirt here. I'm not a good sculptor, so I don't know how I'm going to make it look good. And again, you can see here this edge of the skirt is kind of hasn't printed out properly. But I've got to try and do something because these figures are too nice for me not to use. Now, in the game, I'm planning on using these as depth horrors, I think they're called, or depth terrors or depth horrors. And I printed out 2 of them because I love these. I love these figures. These are so much better than those bloody shamblers. And again, apologies if you like the shamblers. It's just not my thing. I don't like the designs of those, to be honest. These are 100 times better. And again, you see here, this is part of the skirt that should be here, but it just didn't work, and I don't know why. I don't know why it happened. I'm kind of hesitant to print the 3rd one because I'm kind of worried that the 3rd one's also going to have this failure. And again, it seemed to happen on the same layer number. But we will try to do something. We will try and do something to make them usable. And again, they've got their own bases here that you can stick them on, and they look really good. I love these ones. I love the trawlers. I think they're in terms of my favorite sculpts, I really love the trawlers, the Abyssal High Priest, and the Pastors. I think those are my 3 favorites. The warriors or the octopus guys, they would come in sort of the next level with the giant maybe. But yeah, I love the trawlers. I think they're brilliant. I just wish I didn't have the failure on both. Like I say, I've printed out enough for maybe a 300-point army. I think I've got enough for a 300-point army. Maybe a bit more. But again, I can't use the giant or the giant kraken because it's not in the skirmish army list. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed looking at these models. I'm really looking forward to painting these up and playing with them. They really are a lovely set of gribbly, gruesome, Lovecraftian design. I always like to play armies that normal people don't have. Maybe armies that are not normal or useful, or not useful, that aren't sort of popular. And I also like to use unique figures wherever I can. I don't like having the same figures as everybody else. And again, as my channel name kind of implies, I do love a little bit of Lovecraft. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think I'm not sure what the next 3D printing video will be. I do have a bunch of stuff I need to get done at the moment. I've got some painting to do. I've got some games I need to review. I do have some 3D printed stuff kind of ready to record. Well, we'll see. But like I say, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. This is the Patreon set from Bestiarum for July 2022. Should be ready for, I think general release is August 2022. I highly recommend you look at this set, especially if you love Lovecraft or play any kind of Cthulhu RPG. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Cheers.